Well, good morning or afternoon or whatever it is, wherever you are. I hope things are going well. Slick Rick, good morning. How are you? James Gilbert, been down and out. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Back problems. Need to find a good doctor. Good luck. Good luck. Well, we appreciate it. Brooks Rick, how are you? Thank you for dropping in. Thank you so much. It's a beautiful day today. It's not hot. It's hardly cloudy. Bright sunshine out there. Not much more you could ask for, to be honest with you. That's for sure. Nope. I got so many live streams going on right now, so I don't expect a very large room, to be honest with you. But we're gonna go through it. Going to talk about a couple of different things. Um, the most important part is going to show you the statistics, going to show you the actual numbers from the Philippine tourism industry about where the numbers actually are. All right, the actual number of tourists that come in. You hear all of these expats talking about, or not expats, YouTubers talking about how tourism is down, how it's just horrible, and all the things that go along with it. And well, I think we're gonna have to disagree with that. That's for sure, um, because the numbers are not down, and that leads us into our second uh, part, or an ancillary portion, and that is the fact that where you end up getting information about the Philippines is important, and the people that give you that information. So, we'll see what happens. We will see, and we'll open a panel up. Expat Prepper, how are you, man? Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. David Longley, good day, buddy. How you and the missus? Oh, Arlen's doing well. You can't see her. She's behind me. She's doing her morning exercise. She's got her weights and her treadmill and this and that. I think she's singing a little bit. You can't hardly hear her. She's got her headphones on. But she's doing well. Thank you so much. Tim Deziak, good morning, Mike. How are you, Tim? Thanks for dropping in. Sir Ghost, how you doing, Sir Ghost? Thanks for Brewers fan. Hi, Doc. All is good. Yes, indeed, it is. I can't complain. Scott Ferris, how you doing? I can't complain, but man, I've been busy, so busy. You know, um, our friend with the gangrene toe just ended up now on I think it was Thursday or Friday of last week. He got a below the knee amputation. So, Tim says many vloggers are reporting that tourism is down and expats are leaving the Philippines. You know what, Tim? They are. And that's why I'm going to show you the actual data. All right. I will show you, and you will see that that's not true. It's absolutely untrue. Now, is it true that expats are leaving the Philippines? That might be true. There's no way to really track that. I can tell you that we see plenty of them, more than enough. I can tell you that, everywhere, just like a restaurant, just like anything, you know, things run their course. They have cycles, and locations have cycles. You know, you get a restaurant, and it's a 5-star restaurant. It's the best food ever. And they don't change their recipe, but over time, people go elsewhere. Well, the same thing happens with whatever were the hot spots in the Philippines 5 years ago. They're not so hot anymore. I mean, obviously Boracay is still a really hot spot, but um, many other places are not. And with that being said, the cycle of change takes place. But we're going to show you the actual numbers here very shortly. Let's see if we can the room will actually build up a little bit, and then we'll show you the actual numbers. Say, Mike, will you ever do your Tuesday morning live at Tequila Reef again in the future? You know what, Rick? I probably will not. It is a bit of a pain in the butt, number one. I've got to haul 2 camera sets down there. I've got to haul my laptop down there. Sometimes their internet is not great. And I'm being cautious at the same time of filming in public. I think that is something that you have got to take into concern. So probably not. Maybe in the future, who knows? But not broadcasting the street. Sir Ghost is, I'm doing very well, and that's good to know. David Longley. Didn't know that was a green screen till you mentioned it the last time. Yeah, I have a green screen behind me, and I would show it to you, except then Arlen would be in frame, and I don't want to do that. Okay. But yeah, so what I did was I used AI to create this pub looking environment. And, because people chit chat at the pub and stuff like that. And then I have a green screen behind me, and I project it onto the green screen. So yeah, it is. Certainly it is. Tim says many expats are leaving to go on vacation to other countries. And yeah, but that's part of the beauty of being a retired expat. Is the ability to travel. We do, others do. It's not uncommon or unusual. But so the things that we're going to talk about, quite frankly, is that we're going to talk about the tourism numbers. We're going to show them to you. We're going to talk about the rising cost in the Philippines. Okay. It's not as cheap as it used to be. And then finally, I thought what we do if we have the time and the interest, we would also consider touching the basis of, you know what, we'll just leave it the way it is, and we'll see whatever else, because we'll open up the panel and we'll allow, be looking at the comments and cover any topics that you want. So if you've got topics you want to cover, that's fine. It's great. We can do that. Rick, that's what I thought. The filming in public would be an issue. I don't, you know what? I want to make sure it's not an issue for me. That's what's more important. I want to make sure. I think what we're going to see worldwide is a crackdown on social media. They're gonna start watching that, and they're not going to be real friendly about it at some points in time. And with that being said, if there's something that's inadvertent, if there's something that's just not where it's supposed to go, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. I think that's probably the best way to put it. So we'll see. The beauty of the green screen. That's why my cup is invisible, so to speak. It's not really invisible. Otherwise, you would see the rest of my hand behind it. But it takes all the green out. It allows the image that has been built, what we would call in these programs like StreamYard and Ecamm and a couple of other programs, what we call an overlay. So that's kind of where it is. I tend to think that we've got all of these people saying that there's an exodus, and then that there's not as many tourists, and the tourists aren't coming, and the big drop in tourism, and the huge number of expats that are leaving. And I just don't believe that's true. And the reason is simply because of the numbers that I'm going to show you. Now, these are numbers. I think it's Tim Desiak. Oh, back again. There we go. Uh, I think what's important to recognize is one of the few statistical numbers that you can take pretty much as being honest and straightforward are the tourist numbers, or the entry exit into the Philippines. They track them. They track them in two major categories. The first category is foreign tourists, and the second, or foreign visitors, and the second category is non-foreign visitors. In other words, Filipinos that are coming back into the country for whatever reason. Okay, they could be OFWs that are coming in, their tour of duty. They may have been a seaman, or they may have been something else, and their tour of duty is done. They could be vacationing. They live in another country. They're an OFW in another country. But they're Filipinos. They're nationals. And then there are the non-nationals. The only thing that gets interesting here is we call it tourism, but it really isn't necessarily tourism. It is foreign nationals, whether they're on a tourist visa, whether they're on a SRRV, whether they are on a 13A or a Balikbayan, they're counted as foreign nationals. And so foreign nationals aren't necessarily tourists, but it's as close as we can get to it. So, with that being said, those things are critical. So you have to kind of look at the annual trends, and the nice thing is the Philippines demand statistics, the tourism, they call them the tourism demand statistics website, has been up and running for 15 years. So Slick Rick says, so Mike, I'm hearing parts of the Philippines have had some frost in the morning. I don't know of anywhere that actually had frost here. Maybe Baguio, but not here in Angeles, but perhaps in the mountainous regions. I can tell you that one morning this week, I got up. It was 3:30 in the morning, and it was 64 degrees outside, and that is cold. That's cold for the Philippines. So it wouldn't surprise me if they've had frost in some areas up in the mountains. But yeah. Tim says it's been cold here for a few days. Frost was seen in a few places. Yeah, there are reports of it, so it doesn't surprise me. I wouldn't discount it by any way, shape, or means. Okay, so let us start just a little bit here. Let's get going. All right. So this is the what the year-end statistics look like. And I know you can't read that because I can't read it. I doubt very seriously you can read it. So I've chopped it up. But this is just to show you that this was actually comes from the Philippines tourism division, because they track all entries and exits into the country. So if we look at the top 11, okay, these are the top 11. And in those top 11, um, I labeled them for you. And I did the top 11 because, quite frankly, the top 11 represents all the countries that had more than 100,000 visitors come into the Philippines. So, we can look, South Korea is number one with 1 million. Where are they at now? Let's see here. So, the left two columns represent 2025. The right two columns represent 2024 and its growth rate or decline rate. So, looking at the mix. So the South Koreans, they're down 18%. Okay. Now remember, I said, no, it's not true. It's not true that we're short, that the Philippines did not get the tourists or that tourism declined, but South Korea did. And there's a reason for that. South Korea's had some economic uncertainty this year. They've had some political uncertainty. They certainly have, tons and tons and tons of direct flights. And it's real simple. I mean, you hop on a plane in Seoul and 3 hours later you're in the Philippines. I mean, you can do weekend trips, leave, early, mid Friday afternoon. You're in your hotel room by 8 o'clock Friday night. So they've got 1,346,000 versus last year's 1,600,000, down 18%. Big drop. Americans, 1,323,000 in 2025 versus 1,239,000 in 2024. So they're up 6.7%. Solid growth. 495 for the Japanese, was 412. They're up 13%. 359,000 for Australia versus 317. They're up 13%. But it's America that drives it. It's absolutely now. China's down 14%, as you can see. Okay. And Singapore's down 0.5%. Everybody else, take a look at the Indians, though. India, they're up 33%. And that's because of the new visa process that gives them visa-free entry for a couple of weeks. I think they get 2 weeks of visa-free entry. So that's, a big deal. And you can see it is driving it. So the UK is up, Australia's up, USA's up. Now, what's funny though is that it is difficult. I mean, you think about it for a minute, what they have to do to get here. There's still so many Americans. I mean, we outnumber Australians by almost a factor of 4. For every Australian, there's 4 Americans. And the same thing goes with the expats themselves. The Bureau of Immigration released information. They don't specifically track it as a statistic that they publish, but they did release information a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, that there are approximately more than, if I remember correctly, more than twice the number of American expats, or 3 times the number of American expats that live full time in the Philippines compared to the number of non-American. And so, when you split it by nationality, it really gets tanked. So if you ever want to know why there are so many dumbass American YouTube channels, well, it's not that so many Americans are dumbasses. It's just proportionate. It's a proportionate rate. What can I say? Now, if you look at this, all right, I've highlighted it in red. So the top bar represents the grand total of entrants, okay, coming into the Philippines. Now, that excludes diplomatic, all right? And but it does include everything else. But if you look at the total foreign, okay, 5,940,000 in 2025 versus 5,925,000 in 2024. So tourism's up. The numbers are up. Now, granted, it's 0.5%. It's barely. We were thinking we were going to end the year here with tourism being significantly lower. But, that's not what happened. Sunset Travel dropping by the channel here. Let me pull that up so you can see that a little bit. How you doing? 17 degrees. Yeah. Sunset Travel says, no wonder I see them come in for a game of golf and leave after karaoke. Yeah. For the Koreans, they have a good economy. All right. Their dollar, their won spends extremely well here. But they've had a difficult year in South Korea. They've had political challenges, number one. And then number two, they've had some economic issues as well. There is some long-term economic questions within South Korea right now. And so that's slowed them down. But considering the number of Chinese that got booted out and how much more difficult it is for the Chinese to get back here, for us to be at a 0.5% increase, I wouldn't think that's such a negative issue. I wouldn't think it's a negative thing. Honestly, I really wouldn't. We look at all of these different aspects of what it takes to be an expat. Oh, you know what? And that does bring me into another segue here. Okay. We don't have that many in the channel, so I will just simply say that, at the end of the month, we've been extremely diligent. Brewmeister made it here. How you doing, Brew? At the end of the month, okay? Well, at the end of the month. All right. We've been extremely diligent this month in tracking every single penny we spend. I want to say that we probably are going to be within $20 of every penny we spend. I mean, I literally have carry it nonstop. Um, uh, you know, my phone in my notes and keeping track of how much we're spending, so that I can do two things. I've created a spread. Well, I have a spreadsheet that keeps track of all of our expenses. Um, but I added to it. I added to that spreadsheet my bullshit expenses, or not bullshit, but just, when it's like 200 pesos for a trike here, or 140 pesos for something that Arlen ordered on TikTok or whatever. I didn't track that kind of stuff. This month we did. We tracked everything. Everything. So we have a few days left. At the end of the month, I am going to show you what our lifestyle is here. I didn't, now my spreadsheet, I had to reorganize. I don't show you any of our Mindanao expenses. I'm not going to show you any of our U.S. expenses. I'm not going to show you my daughter's expenses. I'm just going to show you Arlen and I's expenses. Okay? That's it. That is absolutely it. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate that page, and I'm going to highlight everything that you don't need. All right? Yeah, I get criticized by one individual. Just this one guy. He's the only one that criticizes us for our lifestyle. And I'm not going to apologize for our lifestyle in any way, shape, or form. I didn't work. I worked my life with a goal to achieve a lifestyle that I wanted in retirement. All right? I achieved the goal. I did that. So great. Why shouldn't we live the way we want to live? I'm not going to apologize for that in any way, shape, or form. Now, my spreadsheet's not going to show you income. It's not going to show you how much money we make or don't make. All right. It really and truly isn't. But what I am going to show, what it is going to show you, is that you can live so many different ways. It's kind of like, Dano says, a budget is only good for the person himself, not ours or his or others. Nobody knows what I need and want. And yeah, you're right. But this isn't a budget, Dano. This is not a budget. All right? This is going to be what we spend. We don't give you a budget. We don't tell you what you need to live on. We don't give you how to budget your money, because we agree exactly with what you said. We agree with the fact that everybody's individually different. But what it is going to do is it's going to show you what we spent to maintain our lifestyle. And there is so much in it that you don't need. Honestly, there really is. And so, boom, we're going to show it to you that way. And then we're going to show you, what? This is kind of like what we would need that's necessary. All of the extra stuff is really icing on the cake, or fluff, or excess, or foolish, whatever word you want to use. All right, it's your opinion. Tim says, when I moved here in 2012, total tourism was less than 500,000 tourists incoming annually. So yeah, it's changed. Tim will tell you, things have changed. Good morning to you, Dano. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. So we're getting a budget video. No, Sunset, you're not getting a budget video. I'm not going to tell you how much you need to live here, because I got no idea how you want to live. I got no idea what you're going to eat, how you're going to eat. But we're going to show you what our lifestyle costs. Okay? And then we're going to show you how much of what it is in there you don't need. You don't need this, you don't need this, you don't need this, you don't need this, and the list goes on. And there's quite a bit, you know. British John will be happy to see that we do recognize we don't need these things, that these things are not necessary, but they are necessary if I want them. They are necessary for certain things. So, but for you, they're not. In fact, I should rephrase, they're not necessary, but they're a part of our life. So, let's see here. A budget is only as good. Yep, I went through that. Matthew Wallen, good morning, Matthew. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Thanks for coming. Mike, you worked very hard to have your current lifestyle. You know what, Tim? I've said this before and I'll say it again. I would love to sit there and say I worked very hard, as if I worked harder than somebody else, but I didn't. I think all kinds of people work hard. I think that people are sometimes a victim of circumstances. I mean, you can have a medical crisis in the U.S. and get wiped out. You can have a relationship crisis in the West and get wiped out. You can have all kinds of, through no negativity towards you, nothing about you being wrong, you can lose it all in the West, or half or more or whatever. It doesn't matter how hard you work. Okay? It really and truly doesn't. I think everybody works. I hope everybody works hard. I know the vast majority of people do work hard. I was just lucky. I was very, very, very lucky. Okay? Matthew Wallen just became a member. Well, thanks, Matthew. Thank you so much for subscribing. We certainly appreciate it. Philly in the Philippines made it. Oh my gosh, his live stream finally ended. Good morning, Brian. How are you? Sunset, I was joking. Yeah, I'm not going to do like Ace and some of the others. It's kind of funny. Most of the budget videos that we see aren't really budget videos. They're more of expense videos. And that's what we're going to do. I mean, really and truly, this is what we spend. Okay? You don't have to spend this kind of money. This is what we spend for our lifestyle. You can have a lifestyle just like ours somewhere else for a different cost. You're not going to end up with a lifestyle like, for instance, many of you who have a chronic disease. I have a chronic disease. I've had it. People make fun of it. All right. But I've had a chronic disease since I was born. I was born insulin dependent. That is a chronic disease. It doesn't stop. It progresses. And it's up to you to do the best you can to fight it. But when you're born and your pancreas doesn't work, then you have to plan for the future. You won't have, 99% of you will not have or move here without a chronic disease that you didn't plan to take care of. An acute disease is something that has very recent onset. Okay? I knew where my medical situation was. I knew where I was going with that medical situation. When I met Arlene, I was much skinnier, much more active, much healthier than I am now. All right? But you know what? What did you say, Arlene? Oh no, you're not making me fat, not you. That's for sure. But my point is that you know a good Filipino woman, she's still with me, and I haven't pissed her off enough to leave me yet. That's for sure, or not yet, anyways. All right. Dano says, "Yeah, good morning. Exactly, exactly." Rick. Todd M. Personally, I think it's crazy someone criticizes your lifestyle. I can guess your assets are over X, but you live a very modest lifestyle, in my humble opinion. Well, you know what, Todd? I think you're right. I personally believe in that. Okay. Um, yes, I think we live in comparison to the lifestyle that we had in the US. We live a modest lifestyle. Do we spend what we make every month? No, we don't. And what we make is nobody's business. What our financial withholdings are or financial assets, and that's nobody's business. Okay. The point here is that, you know what? This is what it costs for us to live our lifestyle here. And you're going to get a good look that, you know, something, we're far more active than you think we are. We do so much more. I don't put videos out about our daily lives. I just don't do it. It's just not our gig whatsoever. So you'll be surprised when you see it. John Babcock. Hey, John, how are you? Thanks for dropping in. Philly sent some stragglers. Oh, well, you know, we appreciate anything that does. Philly, yeah, needs versus want. Yeah, that is true as well. I mean, could I want more? I certainly don't need a lot of what we spend. I certainly don't need a lot. Okay. Now, my medical expenses are going to be somewhat higher than most other people's. Um, I think. Um, you know, my monthly prescriptions. You're going to see everything. You're going to see everything when we do it. Renewals have gone up again. I need another budget. I'll be pushing 700 a month soon. Shit. Sunset, I know you, and you are not living on $700 a month. There is no way. John Babcock, shit happens. Yeah, it does. It absolutely does. Okay. Bookum Dano, we don't buy bar girls drinks. Well, you know what, Dano? You don't have to. Okay. We consider it part of my humanitarian basis. There you go. We contribute a little bit to them because they make 100 peso commission on each one, and that's fine and dandy. But we don't go to the bar every night. We don't go to the bar every week. That's the funny part. All right. You watch British John, you think that you know we're living on Walking Street. Unfortunately, not, or fortunately, not actually. Well, me and the Miss David says me and the missus have been going new places the last few trips, Laos and Vietnam. Yes, absolutely. We travel as well. Now, I'm only going to be giving you a snapshot. I'm going to give you the month of January, and it's going to be skewed because it has some expenses that you're only going to see in the month of January. Okay? You're only going to see my car registration. You're only going to see the car inspection, the insurance, the all of these different things. My annual report, my this, that, and the other. The once in a year software that I use that has annual subscriptions. Okay, you're only going to see that in January, but throughout the course of the year, quite frankly, every month's going to have some singular out of bound issues. Okay. Book an expat fever. There you go. Darren Davo. Hey, Darren, how's things down in Davos City? Hope you're doing well. Brewmeister, let's see Brian online with Vlogger from Philadelphia. He's going at it with sick grandpa together online. You know what, Brew? That would be funny. That would be funny. Because Brian's live streams and he's a lot more liberal than I allow in mine. He really is. I would love to see. I think you're talking about Mad Matthew and Sick Grandpa, and I don't know. I think the jury, Sick Grandpa is a professional troll. All right. And when I say professional, I don't mean that he is like the world's most brilliant troll. What I mean is that's what he's all about. That is exactly what he's about. All right. On camera. And that's just the way it is. Period. Mad Matthew, I think the jury is still out on that. I think there's a lot more to be seen there. And we will see at some point in time. Bookham Dano, hello. Philly in the Philippines, is that a life alert medical device around your neck? I've fallen and I can't get it. No, it isn't. So this, I'll try and get a decent look at it here. Okay. This is a piece of jewelry, quite frankly, that my daughter and I got. She picked it out when we got kind of like matching pieces of jewelry back when she was, I want to say she was 12 or 13 years old. We were doing a daddy-daughter weekend up in Vegas. All right. And this actually opens up. And inside of this is my daughter's first baby tooth. And that's what I carry. That's how I keep her. There's not much I can keep of her and will be able to keep of my daughter with me at all times in the future. And even now, I mean, those of you that are parents, all right, you will either experience or have experienced the fact that as children, get past the early teens, they become so much more independent. Right now, I will see more of my daughter. I fly my daughter to the Philippines every summer. And in the 3 weeks that she's here, I will see her more than if I lived in the U.S. And that's just unless I moved to exactly where she goes to college. And that I won't. Okay? I wouldn't do that. And even then, it would be extremely limited. I mean, they get their own friends. They have their own culture. They have their own lifestyles. They have everything. I mean, kids grow up. So this is just a sentimental thing. Now, the funny thing is, you know what, Philly? There was a 6-month period when I did have a life alert medical device. When I had my heart attack back in the United States, back in, I think it was 2013, 14, something like that, 15, 16, Arlen. Yeah, you can't hear her. She's right behind me, but you can't see her. 2016, okay? I had to wear a life alert because at that point in time, I was living alone. I was absolutely alone and people were concerned. So I got a life alert until they were all convinced that I wasn't going to kick off and have another heart attack and die. John Babcock, I've heard of Sick Grandpa before. Is he one of those drama causing guys? Yeah, John, yeah, he is. That's what his channel is all about. Now, he is also um, um, uh, he is also got I don't know, 10 plus years of experience here in the Philippines and Thailand. All right. And he's quote unquote or portrays himself as a party animal living the 5-star lifestyle and all of that. I won't go into that. You should go to his channel, Sick Grandpa. Go to his channel and check him out and take a look at his live streams and everything. He yeah, but yeah, he called. I've never seen him do a live stream that wasn't interfaced with drama of some sort. John, British expat John says, yes. So it's called, and here's a shameless plug for John. All right. Although John and I do not agree on life at all, and he loves to put me down for our lifestyle. John, a British expat in the Philippines. That's what it's called. A British expat in the Philippines. John, you can go look him up. Okay. Now, I will tell you this. Be very careful about what you follow with his advice. Be very, very careful. All right. That's all I'm going to say about it. Todd, do you think in the future YouTube will be more talking heads than outside content with so many? I don't think so, Todd. I really don't. I think that what you're going to see is plenty of outside content, more than enough. I could put out outside content free of any restrictions. Um, I could do that. It's not hard to do whatsoever. But at the same time, I'm not the kind of guy, I don't want to put my camera in people's faces. I don't want to walk in and ask this and ask that. And that's just not us. That is not my idea of enjoying myself. Now, would the viewers enjoy it better? Would other people enjoy it? Sure, perhaps. But that's just not us. That's all. I think there'll be plenty of it, Todd. And we'll see. Yeah, John says, "Oh, I do know Sick Grandpa and Britt had a run in." Yeah, they did. They did. They had a little run in. But you know something? The run ins with John, they're so ridiculously insignificant. Again, I'm not going to say anything because, quite frankly, John just doesn't really warrant it unless he wants to come and visit. If he wants to come get on the panel, all right? So I'm going to put up the panel. And there it is. So if you want to come on the panel and discuss things, we'll open it up. James Gilbert, Todd M., if you're respectful and use common sense, you can film in public. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Can I make good content in public? Probably. It's just not my forte, and it's not something I really choose to do. That's all. We've got plenty of videos out there of us in Boracay, Bohol, Thailand, all over. All right, Mindanao. It's in. Just look at our channel. Sid Grandpa, man with no name. Sid Grandpa is rather well-mannered and polite in real life. My wife and I met him at SM Mablo in Cebu City. Totally simped on my wife. We were used to that. But we are used to that. You know what? I've had dinner with Sid Grandpa. Sid Grandpa often stays right here in Candy Palace. So it's only likely that we would run into each other. And one night, we had dinner together up on the rooftop of Candy Palace. And he was very well mannered, well spoken, polite. He wasn't screaming or yelling or anything like that. So, but he is pure drama, without a doubt, when it comes to his video content, his online content. Bookum Dano. Only dogs and goats could hear me yell, "Help, I can't get up." Yeah. Um, uh, for like for 2 months, I had to wear this exterior pacemaker, is essentially what it was, like wearing a bra, all right, with these two big ass batteries and this monitor. And it would shock me if my heart went into AFib or something like that. Never did. Never did. Now, I will tell you, I was very careful, although I wasn't, you know what? I was very careful about being seen in it. That's for sure, because it looked ridiculous as crap. All right. For like 6 months, I was pretty much in a wheelchair from my heart attack. And then, for 6 months, until I got up and going to where I could start walking all the time everywhere, I had a life alert, and it was a wireless Wi-Fi connection to, alert them, and they would call, but never used it. I was fine. That's for sure. The ugly tourist. I met him too. He was a good guy, but does that excuse his behavior online? Well, okay. All right, James, that's a good question. So let's look at a couple of different things. Does it change his behavior or what he promotes online? Well, that would be like asking Austin Powers, okay? Does his online demeanor excuse his behavior? Does his online demeanor dictate who he is? All right, he's an actor, just like you, James. You're an actor, okay? It is your online persona. People can take YouTube two directions. They can be actors or they can be real. Okay? They can be one or the other. In fact, they are one or the other. With that being said, just because I forget who the guy is that plays Austin Powers. Jeez, it's on the tip of my tongue and I can't remember. But does his persona, would that excuse him? Because I've seen Sick Grandpa in public on more than one occasion, and he was not at all like his online persona. So I don't know, James. I really don't. And for those of you that haven't gone to the Ugly Tourist, Philippines, please do. Give him a look. All right. He, his wife, Ding, and their beautiful young child, So, let's see here. Where am I? Are you familiar with the expensive expat? Yes, I am familiar with him. I've met him once. Okay. Ugly Tourist, good question. So Dano says, tourist police said no more video on Walking Street. That's what I heard. I don't know. I haven't seen an official document yet. I haven't seen anything, but I haven't been on Walking Street in a while now, so I can't tell you. So Dano, if you come to breakfast tomorrow morning, maybe we can talk about it. Sick Grandpa fills a niche, at least until he does something that really annoys YouTube. Yeah, he's had multiple channels canceled over the years. That's for sure. Mike Myers. Thank you very much, James. Mike Myers. I don't know why it was on the tip of my tongue. So, I mean, you've got people who have their own online presence and then their real life presence. And does their online presence justify what they say and do? But they're actors. I mean, now I will tell you, the slap heard round the world, and those of you that have better memories than me, what was that Frank Battaglia that sick grandpa walked up on and smacked him on the head? I can't remember. No, it does not excuse that. Okay, I am adamantly opposed to physical altercations. I really and truly am. Philly in the Philippines. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Yep. Oh, behave. Man with the Austin Powers. Great example. You have to look at it like TV movies. It's not real. You can't take it that way. And the same thing goes. Mike Myers isn't degrading real people. He's not degrading, but who's to say that who Sid Grandpa is degrading is real? Who's to say that the only presence they have is their YouTube persona? Then they're actors also. But I do understand what you're saying, Taurus. Does it excuse him? You know, he is, first off, what has he done? Where is the lie? Has he lied about anybody? I mean, if he's lied, then tell us what he said that was a lie. Fazio, there you go. Brian remembers it. It was Fazio. Fazio that sick grandpa walked up from behind and smacked him on the head. You know what? I say he walked up from behind. I don't know that to be honestly true. Not even women, James? Sunset. Specifically. Okay. John Bat, I'm just not very familiar with your past there. I appreciate your commitments. Have you thoughts about Baguio, and if you find it okay as a vacation area? It's, you know what, John? I am sure Baguio is a wonderful vacation area. The mountains have just never impressed me. I've never been a fan of the mountains. Okay. It's just that simple. So I can't tell you from experience. Arlene loved going up to Baguio. She's made several trips up there, but not for me. Just the way it is. So I can't give you a great insight into that. Now, I can tell you about Mindanao. I can tell you about Bohol. I can tell you about Boracay, Puerto Princesa, Palawan, El Nido, all up and over the areas. Those things are all places where we've been. Okay. We can tell you about those to our limited experiences in each one of those areas. Sure. You are what you say do, except on YouTube. Except on YouTube. There are lots and lots of guys on YouTube that aren't anything like or remotely resemble their real lives. Philly, Sid Grandpa is promoting channels. Most people have never heard of some of the channels and that's really true also. That's very true. He promotes channels. Okay. I would not know about Mad Matthew if it wasn't for sick grandpa going after him. There are a lot of people out there that would have never heard of The Ugly Tourist until sick grandpa did his little skit on you, James. And he's done them on me. He's done them on Philly. He's done them on everybody. The Ugly Tourist, I forgot the F and specifically. Don't worry, we don't count bad about typos here. That's fine. Ben in Cebu took off after sick grandpa renamed him and reamed him in a new one. Yeah, that's possible. I don't watch Ben in Cebu, so I don't know. I feel like, he is helping. My bad. Yeah, you know what? Promotion is look, James, Philly and I promoted the living shit out of your channel for the first couple of months. All right. Everybody has some impact, good, bad, or indifferent. John Babcock. Oh, thanks for the comments. I meant be safe. Thank you. Thank you. Joseph, great live stream. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, Joseph. Sig Grandpa. Todd, are you still planning a drive across the country? No, I am not. Todd, things have changed and it's just not in our future right now. We have a very busy commitment here. And quite frankly, no. I think that's probably the best thing I can say right now is not at this time. Maybe in the future, we will think about it and plan again. But no, we've had some stuff come up here that keeps us from doing that. Joseph says, I find Sick Grandpa very interesting. You know what? Sometimes I find him interesting. I find Sick Grandpa one of the things I find about him is his history. He knows and remembers. I mean, mark my words, he is not stupid. This guy has a reasonable intellect at a minimum, a reasonable intellect and a great memory, it seems like. Sunset Travel. I've checked out some of the channels Ricky mentions every vid he puts out. Mad Matthew gave him a shout out. Thanks. Yeah, I saw that. I want to see what transpires with Mad Matthew over time. I really do. I'm not saying anything bad, positive, or negative. I just want to see where it goes. Man with no name. I still miss Rob's coffee shop. I miss Rob a lot. Rob was a great guy. He still is a great guy. Okay. He had his reasons and his life got too busy he has a certain level of professionalism and he wouldn't let it drop below that. And if he couldn't create something to the level of professionalism that he liked, then it wasn't for him. And he just ran out of time for that. He got busy. Jim Schaefer, I agree with Philly. I'd seen Mad Matthew's channel after Sick Grandpa started talking about him. I watched a I subscribed to Mad Matthew as a result. By the way, I'm not subscribed to Sick Grandpa. He can be fun. I am subscribed to Sick Grandpa. I don't watch everything he puts out, but I am subscribed to him. Okay. I watch a good bit of it. I don't watch a lot of his shorts because I'm just not a shorts kind of guy. Okay. There's the link. I'll put it back up in case somebody wants to cam up. That's fine. If you have a different topic you want to talk about or something like that. And I understand where the ugly tourist is coming from. I really do. But one of the things that has to happen is people have to recognize that the YouTube channels are going to be whatever their owner wants them to be. Okay? And does that reflect directly upon them? Well, it's the channel it reflects upon, maybe not so much the individual. You can have a very conservative business owner that owns a very liberal business, but it makes money. And so therefore he's a smart conservative. He's invested in something that the public wants. So maybe that's a better way for me to describe it. I don't know. Jim Schaefer, I've actually considered subscribing to SipGrandpa. Yeah, it's just it's free to be a subscriber. Man with no name, time to go. Wife and I are heading out to Florida. See you next week. Oh man, have a great time. Hey, man, be cautious. Watch the weather. Be careful. What is it? You're on your way to Florida. It's probably like 10 o'clock there at night. Watch the roads. Be careful. All right. That's for sure. I had a really interesting, I have a new friend. Okay. Not friend, a new person that I've been talking to. And he is a smart, intelligent guy. And he is from New Zealand. And I'm really interested in picking his brain in the future when it comes to how and retirement works in New Zealand, and how simple is life. What are the people? What is the general people? What are the general populations like in New Zealand? I want to get an idea as to that. Not that I have any intention of moving there. I just think it's easy. It's interesting. Hector, there we go. Sorry about that. Sid Grandpa's favorite words are broke, cuck, simp, dumb, ugly. Yeah, it is. It is. Sid Grandpa hit Rob hard. Yeah, he did. He went after Rob, and Rob went back at him, and it got a little ugly. And then Sid Grandpa moved on to the next one. Ugly Tourist, I recognize that. He was easy on our channel. Still don't agree with his content. Well, you don't have to agree with his content. Okay. So then, Ugly Tourist, if you don't agree with his content, who else do you not agree with? Who else's content do you not agree with? New friend, Philly? No. This guy doesn't do YouTube or anything like that. John Bad, whatever happened to that big guy that was a scuba diver and bought a big boat? You know the guy I'm talking about, big boy American YouTuber with a are you talking about Scuba Chef? Or with a scuba? Oh, wait a minute. Are you talking about Justin down in Dumageddon, Critter Hunter? Are you talking about Critter Hunter? Sid Grandpa stated in one of his videos that his pension runs out soon. It'll be interesting to see how it turns out. You know what, Brew? I didn't hear that, but I've heard from several people that he said that. And I'm kind of like, he has multiple pensions, is what he said, or multiple sources of income. And is that pension going to be less than his Social Security? Because if I'm not mistaken, he hasn't reached Social Security yet. So his pension might be running out right about the time his age hits Social Security. So I don't know. I have no clue, Brew. I don't concern myself, and that's not being negative, but I don't concern myself with how much money people make. I could care less. I really and truly could. I hang out for breakfast with people that make great money and people that don't. That they have very strict budgets. Okay, I hang out. I interface with expats that drop by to see me at breakfast. Sometimes with people that are living on very minimal Social Security benefits. So I don't care how much money somebody has? Will it change his lifestyle, Brew? Yes. I believe that if you took $2,000 a month out of his lifestyle, that would make a big difference. But I don't know. I got no idea. Personally, I don't find troll behavior the slightest bit entertaining. Don't care if it's all an act. I agree, but it is part of entertainment. And that is a shame. It's when they take that too far. John Babcock, Critter Hunter. Yeah, there we go. Philly knew who I was. Yes. Yes, Critter Hunter. Justin Critter Hunter. Brewmeister 2. He's gonna go crazy. Who's gonna go crazy? Brewmeister 2. Brewmeister's going to start. I don't think he'll go crazy. I don't know. You know what? Trying to predict the future of an individual here is impossible for me. I don't know. Maybe others can. I can't. I can't predict somebody's future. But sometimes you can look at people and you have an idea, and I think, what's going to happen. Hector Gupta. If you respond to Sick Grandpa, he'll keep pounding you. Oh, sure he will. Sure he will. It's all about views. It's absolutely all about views. Hayden. How are you, Hayden? No, we're not talking. I'm not talking about you. Not unless you're a troll account for Sick Grandpa or somebody else. I don't know. But I'm not talking about you, Hayden. Philly. Sick Grandpa is a fisherman. He throws the bait, waits for the other YouTuber. Yeah, he does. That's a good analogy. He just throws shit, and it's like a cook. He's throwing spaghetti on the wall and seeing if it sticks. Okay? If Sick Grandpa is retired Army and has permanent VA disability, those patients, but he's not. He's not retired Army, okay? He did not retire from the Army. Does he have VA disability? I have no idea. In the military, in the U.S. military, I can't speak to other militaries, but I know this. In the U.S. military, you are 20 and done. And when I say 20 and done, is 19 years and 6 months, and you leave, you get no pension. None at all. You don't get a military pension. You only get that once you achieve the 20 years. So, he wasn't in for 20 years to the best of my knowledge. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but to the best of my knowledge, I don't know. He does go to the VA. So is he VA disability? Possibly. Sick Grandpa learned his craft from trolling politicians during their press conferences. Classic. Yeah, and you're absolutely right, Hector. He trolled politicians. He really did. He really did. Okay, what's too far? I don't know. You're the one, James, you're the one that said that, it's not good. I'm asking you what other YouTubers do you disagree with their content? Does anybody here remember Wally George in Orange County? I don't. That doesn't ring a bell with me at all, Hector. I'm sorry. Maybe somebody else in the comments does. The ugly to Wally George was awesome. Well, James knows who he is. Tim, I can't even predict my future, let alone someone else's. Yeah. You said unless he goes too far. Unless he goes too far. So what is too far? I think going after people's wives is going too far. I think going after their children is too far. I think doxing them is too far. I think those types of things are too far. Everything else is sticks and stones. All right? But I'm still waiting for your response. What other YouTubers, all right, don't be, what other YouTubers do you not agree with their content? Tim, thank goodness I got my 20 years in and get my DA. Yeah, there you go. So you get your 20. So Tim, correct me if I'm wrong. If you had done 19 years and 6 months, would you have gotten your military retirement pay as well? He had done all of that except the doxing. I don't know. You know, um, I think it's poor behavior. Let me rephrase that. I think it's poor behavior, James. Um, does that mean that I'm going to hate somebody for poor behavior? No. Am I going to love them or not? No. But at the bottom line, I'm still waiting for your response. Someone exposed to Grandpa's DD-214 shows he didn't retire, but had to cut his enlistment short due to medical reasons. I believed he had a general discharge. There you go. Who knows? But then again, it is where it's at, I guess. Depending on when you retired from the military, 20 years could mean a very low pension, like bad pay at 50% in 1999 would be a few hundred a month at E7. You're getting into areas I don't know, but I thought you had to do bad pay, base pay. I thought you had to do 20 years to get your full retirement. I thought. So, but I could be wrong. I could absolutely be wrong. Maybe there's a point you have to do X number of years to equal 20%, X number to get 50%, X number to get 100%. I don't know. Tim, you must do 20 years or get medical retirement to get a pension. Okay. And this is, again, I'm not retired military. I couldn't give you an answer. If Sig Grandpa is going to VA Manila, he's at least service connected for one condition. I did my 20 and retired. Okay. Hey, Arstel, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while. I ran into Arstel over in ZRV for breakfast one time. I've run into him actually a couple times. Ugly Tourist, Philly wants to know also, what channels do you not agree with their content? Yeah, I think it's interesting. There's people's channels that I don't like. But we'll wait to hear from James first. There are provisions for medical retirement. There are provisions for medical retirement for certain conditions. I'm sure there are. That's just like, okay. So if you're medically retired, you can. Okay. I don't know about the medical retirement. I would think that's different. So Philly's the same as me. So James says, condoning their behavior, he doesn't care for that. And we were asking, well, what other channels do you not care for their content? What other channels do you not like based upon how they act and what they do with their content. And so I'm asking, and now Philly is asking, and apparently now Sunset wants to know as well. What channels content do you disagree with? I think that's interesting, because I certainly have channels content that I don't agree with. There's channels that I don't agree with, and then there's channels that I don't care about. Two different things. Okay. So there we go. Oh no. Philly says, I have no problem saying channels I don't like. Yeah. Now look, Philly, you're not going to come in my live stream and beat me up, in my own live stream, are you? Really? No, I'm kidding. If if you or James or anybody else wants to, that's fine. I'm a big boy, I'm not out here to get everybody's approval, that's for sure. And actually, Philly, you're not either. That's for sure. So, but yeah, I mean, content is sometimes content. Now, Sid Grandpa's content is not life content. In other words, I could be doing a live stream in public, okay? And that's part of my life. I'm in this location doing this, all right? And it's not pointed at me, it's pointed at the surroundings. That's one thing, okay? But if all you're doing, because 90% of what he does, he points at himself. So it's not really an external thing. But yeah, he does shit on people. I mean, that is the honest truth. And he's the first one to admit that he is a troll. So Philly, why did Aloe threaten a lawsuit on you? Never got that story straight. I don't even know that story. I didn't know that Aloe threatened a lawsuit on Philly. I had no idea. There are a lot of channels that I disagree with, so I don't bother watching them. Yeah, that's the easiest way. That is absolutely the easiest way. So John Babcock says, base pay E7, 20 years in service in 1999 was about $1,800. So your retirement would be approximately $900 per month. Not bad. With $1,500 Social Security, you have $2,400. Well, in 1989, that wasn't bad. $2,400 is getting a little tight here. Oh, James, I would like to chat. You're going to come in my live stream, bring up something controversial, and nobody is here to go after you by any way. We don't think bad. I don't think badly of you at all. All right. But, so look, are you, what's wrong? Or I mean, do you think that people would get upset with you about it? I don't know. Sounds like a topic for the Philly 215 hot starting out February 1st. Cheap plug. Yes, indeed. Yes, everybody. So don't forget, starting February 1st, I'll plug this for Philly myself. He's got a new channel that he's going to be doing on top of his regular channel. And the new channel is going to be live streams only at this point, and it's going to be open, where nothing is off the table except for community guideline things. So, yeah, it's a new channel, Sunset. Hector Cooper, I wonder if Sid Grandpa trolled YouTubers in Thailand. Oh, yeah. He trolled the living crap out of people in Thailand as well. He still does. A veteran has to have served 20 years to be at least 50% VA disabled to collect both currently. Yeah. Uh-oh. Bookham Dano says, yeah, cam up, ugly tourist. There we go. Wait. Hey, we'll make it easy. But you don't have to cam up, all right? I don't want this to be a confrontational type issue. I'm just asking you, what other channels do you disagree with their content? So apparently you don't feel comfortable telling people who you disagree with. That's fine. That's your prerogative. Military retirees get a yearly increase in their retirement. So E7 retirement will be getting more than that initial 900. Yeah, they get an increase, 2-3%, just like Social Security. Okay. Every now and then, Arstell, they get a little bit more. But I don't know. Buricana. Hi, Mike. Catching the rest of your live stream. Been sick in the province. Wind is brutal. Wow. I'm sorry to hear that, Bura. I really and truly am. Well, I hope you're taking care of yourself. I really and truly do. Um, I hope you get well. Jeez, relax, get it in. John, okay, yearly or whatever raises and benefit. Nice. Yeah, they are. I mean, just like Social Security gets annual cost of living. Philly, the ugly tourist. Philly says, ugly tourist. Inquiring minds want to know. Yes, we want to know. Not just that. We want to know. You know something? There are something to be considered. Something that I think is worth thinking about or mentioning. Every one of us, you included, Philly included, Sunset, myself, anybody else, we can sometimes learn from those people that watch us and let us know how they feel. So if you've got YouTubers that you think you don't agree with their content, well, maybe they'd be grateful to know what it is you don't agree with and why. I mean, if you're gonna tell people that you don't agree with somebody's content, you gotta have to explain why you don't agree with it. Buktapa, I understand why Sick Grandpa does what he does. That kind of content does not appeal to me, so I don't watch it. Nothing personal. Yeah, he's a professional troll. That's just it. Hector, I have a friend of mine go as Sick Grandpa on Halloween on Ridge Street this year. That'd be funny. That would be funny. The Philly Sunset Travel, the Philly 215 hot seat. Yes, indeed. Oh, man. So we've got, what else here? I don't agree with Sick Grandpa content. I've told everyone why. And yes, Philly is 100% behind that. He's mentioned it on multiple occasions. I don't disagree with a lot of his content. I do disagree when it comes to exaggerating or what would be the best words? Um, um, embellishing the truth. If he embellishes the truth, then I disagree. But people do it all the time. People do it all the time. Military retirement pension coincide with Social Security cost of living, so 2.8 is whatever the retirement amount is. So, it's mice nuts. 2.8%. I think my Social Security went up like, I want to say like $90 this year or something. Ugly Tourist, Philly, will you have regular guy on? I'm sure. I've never seen Philly turn down. I don't know. That's a good question. Would you allow regular guy on your live panel on your new channel, Brian? Is it true that Philly Sports Bar banned vlogging on their premises, Lars? Like, I have no idea. I don't know. If they banned it, that would mean that Chubbs Dub C would have to find somewhere else to do his Monday and Friday live streams. That's vlogging. Well, I guess you know what? They can make it as individual as they want. But I do believe that people are getting fed up with vloggers. People are getting fed up with putting up with the shit that they do. Because some of them are incredibly, incredibly insulting. Some of them have such a sense of entitlement. It's crazy. So, yeah, I can see establishments saying you're allowed to blog because you're a nice guy, but you're not allowed to blog because we don't know you or because you're not a nice guy. I could see that. Anyone had a wife or girlfriend that spent 20 years in Singapore or some other country as an OFW, and when they go back home to the province, retired, they got sick from loss of immunities? I don't know anybody like that, so I can't give you an answer. But maybe somebody in the comment section might be able to. Chubbs did a live stream from Phillies yesterday, so there you go. At least uh, Chubbs can still do it. So it's at least selective, not universal. I guess that's the best word for it. Regular guy on the hot seat. So yeah, Philly, you would have him on your panel in the hot seat. Let's see here. Hector Gupta, Live of the Year, starring Kuya John, Sick Grandpa, Regular Guy, Heidi, Aloe, Frank. There you go, Philly. I don't think you'll ever get Aloe and Frank on. I know you're not going to get Heidi to go on Philly's live stream. I doubt you'll get Sick Grandpa, but it's possible. It's possible. Regular guy, I just don't know. But you know what, Philly? Regular guy has said he's on his way to Surigao Island. He's going to be up in your neck of the woods. Of course, maybe he'll stop by and see you. Chubbs actually has informative content, in my opinion. Can't say that about all. Oh, without a doubt. With Don J, there's no doubt that Chubbs has a very informative channel. He talks a lot about different, he puts a lot of effort into it, puts forth a lot of stuff, and everything that goes along with that. But that's great. And he's that is, that's a good plug for Chubbs Dub C. Philly, until you see a memo from the mayor's office stating no more filming on Walking Street, it's all just talk. It very well may be. I haven't seen anything issued from the mayor's office on Facebook. I haven't seen anything issued. I haven't been on Walking Street in several weeks now. So I mean, I haven't seen anything. So I can't tell you if they put up signs or not, but I haven't seen any. Now I've had breakfast at Tequila Reef, and we've had dinner at Tequila Reef, and but I haven't seen a sign that said anything. But I didn't look, so I don't know. Vlogger fatigue. I've suffered this for a while now. Yeah, it certainly happens. You get tired of it. You get tired of the same shit. Hector Gupta, what about Mad Matthew? I'm sure Philly would open Mad Matthew. I would let Mad Matthew. I'd let Regular Guy, Mad Matthew, Sick Grandpa. I can't think of anybody offhand that I wouldn't allow on my live stream. I mean, that as long as they would show their face and abide by the YouTube community guidelines. Will says, yeah, my wife, after being in the U.S. for years, got really sick from the flu and open wind and elements. Yep. My door's always open, Philly says. Philly, get P on your channel so we can grill or bomb her with questions. She doesn't do live streams, does she? Mad is getting a lot of exposure. Sure he is. I agree. Chubbs has been good to our channel. Chubbs has been good to our channel. Thank you, Chubbs. Yeah, Chubbs is a nice guy. Chubbs has been a very nice guy. All right. Lars Lang says Honey Bunny has information for new mongers. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't watch Honey Bunny. I don't watch Regular Guy. So It is what it is. Mad Max getting a lot of exposure. I agree. Chubbs has good to our channel. I think a lot of people were good to your channel, Ugly Tourist. I don't know anybody that was negative about your channel. Matt says he got monetized after 15 days. Good for him. That's great. I do like some of Chad's hotel vids, Sunset says. Arstel, that monthly increase in my Navy retirement pays for an extra night out here. Spent mine out last night. There you go. Everyone would let regular guy on money. I would let regular guy on for a demonetized live stream. Okay? It's an issue of interaction. If all you're looking at by befriending or being a part of or something else of another channel is to make money, then, well, that tells us a bit about that type of person. I think we can put P on the hot seat to answer questions about her trip to the U.S. I doubt she's going to answer you. Budano says they have signs. They have signs are up. No cameras and videos. Tourist police said. Okay. Next time I'm down, I'm going to look for them. Don't need the money or subscribers. Yeah, exactly. Jim Schaefer, I also enjoy Philippines through the eyes of an expat and California expat. No controversy, just conversation and information. And of course, I like Lot's channel. I have to check out Chubbs. Yeah. Jim, check out. It's Chubbs Dub C. Chubbs DUBC. Letter C. Will, Mike, do you know on domestic flights if they're here, there's no free snack or coffee service? Paid $100 for a cup of coffee. I don't know. Let's see here. When we fly from Luzon to Butuan, we got bottled water. I don't think we got any snacks at all. Bottled water. But it's only like a 2-hour flight. When we've, so I can't answer. I can't remember the other flight, I never really paid attention to it because, quite frankly, my wife packs snacks. All right. I mean, when we travel, she's going to have nuts. She's going to have banana chips. She's going to have mango chips. I mean, my wife will munch and munch and munch. And yet, now, she will drink bottled water. All right. Or actually, she'll drink the filtered water that comes out at the water fountains at the airports. I drink bottled water. All right. She's not a big soda fan. I will buy a soda on a flight once in a while. Regular guy sat in Angeles City for a month and never once did he try to help other YouTubers promote their channel. That's true. That's true. Okay. If you wanted to deal with regular guy, you had to hunt him down. You had to try and predict when he was going to be at Phillies, show up, try and get in a conversation, and then try and talk into some way to get promotion. I got nothing wrong with that, really and truly. I don't like, I guess maybe I'm saying this the wrong way. Let me say it like this. Regular guy's material, his content, doesn't entertain me. Just like I don't get entertained by somebody's material about how to build a house. I've already built one. I've done it. I don't get entertained by somebody's material about hotel rooms. I don't need them. I've got a home. I've got two. All right. I don't get entertained about getting my car inspected or passing emissions or all these normal, because I've been here for so long. We've done all that, done there, Now, I'm not saying it's bad content. I'm just saying it doesn't entertain me. I'm already married. I don't bar find girls. I don't date girls. I don't get drunk. All right. Um, something has to bring information to me that's new, something that or of interest, okay? Or it has to be entertaining in some form. Whatever happened to the Philippine Info Channel? He went bye-bye. He got sick and tired of it. Okay? He turned it over to another guy who, I don't know what they did. He created a new channel called The Boston Man or something like that. I mean, that was another guy I really didn't watch. I don't need to know what's going on with SRVs because I don't get one. I don't need to know what's going on with tourist visas because I have a 13A. So he doesn't bring anything of value to my life. James go, I've done things so different than what most vloggers will tell you. You've been here 5 years doing fine. Exactly, James. Exactly. You can, it's different everywhere. Bookham Dano, you want more girls watch Thailand vlogs on Soy 6. Yeah. The Thailand vlog, that really and truly you should. That's the honest truth. The only thing wrong with Thailand is the language barrier, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, if it wasn't for the visa issue that they predicted and they're now doing, number one, and number two, the language barrier. And Arlen, if I was a single guy, I would have gone to Thailand instead of the Philippines. Would I do it now? Where would I go? I don't know. I think probably I would go to Thailand if I was a single guy. I think. I'm not sure. John Backer, here's a good question. Has anyone been accused of buying subs? Oh, shit, yeah. Buying subs on YouTube is rampant. Absolutely rampant. Okay? And the latest kick is I did a video on this 2 years ago when YouTube came out with YouTube promotions. I said YouTube had turned into pay per play. If you don't think some of these new, fresh, up and coming guys aren't pumping $300-400 a month into YouTube pay to play YouTube promotions or more, you're kidding. You're absolutely kidding. I mean, you don't put up a video, all right, that gets 10,000 views in 3 days or 2 days and has 42 comments. That is a YouTube promotion video, or somebody bought subs. It happens, it is. And there's nothing wrong with doing YouTube promotions, I might add. That's no different than if you owned a grocery store in the US and you ran advertisements in the local paper about the hamburger that you've got on sale this weekend. Nobody's forcing anybody to watch it. Nobody's forcing anybody to subscribe. Nobody's forcing anybody to hit a thumbs up. Okay? They're just promoting it more. You don't get free subscribers or anything like that. Blatantly buying subscribers, absolutely. That still happens. Hector Gupta, is that the guy in Tres Martinez? Yeah, I think that's who it was. It was in Tres Martinez. You didn't make Street Freak show his face. Yeah, I didn't. And I feel bad about it. And I won't do that again. I will not. I, I want to apologize to everybody and just say, you know what? I let my standards dip and I shouldn't have. And it won't happen again. I'm sorry, Brew. I really am. Yes, Sunset. At Philly Influence, not true. He did several lives with other vloggers, not ours, but others. Um, I don't know. I don't watch them, so I couldn't say. But you know what, James? You still have not come back and told us what vloggers do you not like their content. Yeah, he kind of disappeared. Yes, he did lives with Honey Bunny. Okay. Yeah, I heard he did a live with Honey Bunny. I heard Honey Bunny went drinking with Bruce. That was funny. Philly and Chubbs. Okay. Um, 2 out of how many? Such a short flights. I doubt they will serve snacks. Yeah, I would think so. That's not true, OPJ. Um, at Philly, you said none. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, okay, so I don't know. He did a live with Chubbs, or did he show up in Chubbs live? Did he broadcast a live with Chubbs, or did they just happen to chit chat for a few minutes because they were in the same place? And was that the same way as it was with Honey Bunny? Did they broadcast alive, introduce him as alive, show it as alive? I mean, what was the extent of it? Again, you have to excuse my ignorance. I don't watch Honey Bunny and I don't watch RG. I don't really care how many others manage their channels personally. Just don't watch it. Yeah, and that's really the truth. I should have answered with that. I should have answered with that. I don't really care how others manage their channels personally. Just don't watch it if you don't like it. But you did. You did. So Thailand Information Channel now. Okay, yeah. So the guy that he handed Philippines info over was living in Thailand. So then I guess he's still there in Thailand. But I think that guy, the original guy's gone. Or at least he's not doing anything other than maybe I don't know. Yeah, I just flew Manila to Legazpi and it seemed cheap, but funny how things are different from U.S. flights. Yeah, you know what, Will? I don't know. P got pissed when Pro Life said hi when he walked past her while she was doing an interview. I don't know. I don't watch P either. I don't want relationship advice. I want to be responsible for the success or failure of my relationship. I want to be responsible for it. I don't want to come back and say, but Philly said that I should only call you a bitch twice a week. You know, I'm not going to listen to other people's advice on relationships. People also buy watch hours. Yeah, Tim's correct. They can buy hours. You can buy anything. And lots of attractive single middle-aged women in Japan, but not easy to get a visa here. You know what? I don't know. We have a subscriber here, Timmy Dog, that's been in Japan for, I don't know, like 30, 40 years. So I don't know. And he's an American. Tim Dizak, how do you do that? Tim Dizak, what did Tim say? People also buy watch hours. I don't know how you do it, but I know you can. I've seen it advertised on Fiverr before. I want to know. Fiverr. You can buy anything on Fiverr. Sunset Travel. I don't know about it. I'm hearing more and more frustrated YouTubers complaining about reduced. You know what? I've heard a lot of people complain about it too. Personally, I don't give a shit. Um, it's not a part of my life. I mean, we get money. It's not much at all. All right. It doesn't even, well, we don't. I am, you know how Ace Bachelor Cool is the number 2 single YouTuber in the Philippines or whatever he calls himself? I think Ugly Tourist called himself the number 1 vlogger in Angeles City the other day. Didn't you have let me see. Ugly Tourist. Hang on. Okay. And I'm not jumping on anything here. That's those. It seems like there was a thumbnail or something like that just the other day. Was it in your posts? I don't know. I must be mistaken. I must absolutely be mistaken, and I apologize. So, but what was I getting at? More and more first. Yeah. You know what? I am, and we can document it. I am the the ugliest, but also the laziest YouTuber in Angeles City because I don't give a shit. I don't care how many subscribers I have. Although the more, I mean, it's an ego thing. All right. It's an accomplishment thing, but I don't care how many subscribers I have, and I don't care how many views I get, and I don't care, about any of that. So, but there are people out there that are they get butt hurt terribly about it. Will you be doing live streams with Tequila Reef rails overlooking Santa? No, I won't. I did 3 or 4, and then I decided it's just not worth it. When I say not worth it, carrying all that equipment down there, getting everything all set up, all right, because I do mine different. I actually have to bring a laptop, 2 action cameras, all right, weighing in on trying to get decent internet, but no. And then this whole public filming thing, it's something I'm just not going to be there. Vitali says he has a documentary on the Philippine experience coming out soon. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it at all. I think it's going to be far more limited than we think, but I wouldn't doubt it. Dano says, my neighbor yesterday gave me a plate with a great steak and macaroni. Very nice. Man, that's the kind of neighbor I need. Geez, Dana, why didn't you didn't bring any, you didn't share? Come on. To actually make a lot of money, you need a lot of quality content. I don't know. Philly says, I think, and I could be wrong, regular guy showed up on Chubb's live stream while he was doing a live at Philly's. Okay, that's not, all right. Philly, and he was on the thumbnail. At Philly in the Philippines, was on the thumbnail, just quit. I don't know what that means on the thumbnail on Chubb's thumbnail, on Chubb's was on RG's thumb. I don't know. You're going to have to, RG had no problem sitting down with the Duma vloggers and did interviews with them. Yeah. Okay. When did he do that? Is that something that he did recently? Or was that some of his older content? I don't know. Phil McLeod. Hey, Phil. I used to watch many channels, not so much anymore. Philly says, correct me if I'm wrong. Ugly Tourist says, I just did. LOL. Oh my God, it's Ace #1. Bachelor because I'm single. Cool because I am. Only had STD 3 times. Single YouTuber in the Philippines. I just added that. That's not true. I'm just joking around with Ace. Ace, I haven't seen you in a long time. Drop by. Let's have breakfast tomorrow. Oh, I'm sure Ace is already in and gone. Okay. Uh, you're only the laziest because I'm not there. That's the. Illinois says it's tough. Illinois says it's tough with the bureaucracy in Japan. Not a place for old guys to find a girlfriend, but can be a good place to find a partner. It just takes work. Love it here. I was raised in Japan, so I always have a place in my heart. I had a lot of fond memories as a kid in Japan. Ace is always in the background. Philly, Ace, Bachelor, cool. What YouTube channels don't you like? Ace, Bachelor, cool. Please tell me your criteria, please. Ugly Tourist, I'll be there for breakfast. I'm hungry. Come on down for breakfast. Ugly to James, tomorrow's Thursday. Tequila Reef breakfast, 8 a.m. Come on down. So there we go. Now you have 3 different vloggers in the room, maybe more, but we don't know. But 3, all asking who, give us examples of people's channels that have content that you don't like. Not that people can skip because they don't want to watch it, but that you personally disagree with their content. I remember RG crashing one of Chubb's live streams. There you go. And I don't know. Again, sometimes I think I need to watch all these YouTubers here in Angeles City because I got to keep up with what's going on. And then I go to the second thought, screw it. No, I don't. Let them do what they're going to do. Ricky USA, thank you. And now Mike was a military brat in Japan. So I was a government brat. I was yeah and no. So, originally I was a government brat. Then when my mom and dad split up, I lived with my father. Not my father, I'm sorry. With my grandparents. My grandfather was he was stationed, he was kind of, I don't know how to explain it, up the food chain a little bit at Tachikawa Air Force Base in Tachikawa, which is now, I think, an emergency response air base for medical and stuff like that, Coast Guard medical, things like that in Japan. The Air Force Base part closed down years ago. So it's kind of, you think of Tachikawa as kind of like an extended suburb of Tokyo. Japan has some kinky type of entertainment. I haven't been to Japan. I left Japan when I was 9. I was 9 years old. Then I was in Hong Kong until I was 14, and then into the U.S. So even though I was born in the U.S., I was born in the United States. Both my parents are U.S. citizens, whole 9 yards. Oh my goodness. So I don't know. But let's put up the link. There we go. There's the link, folks. James, Cam Up, Ace, anybody that wants to, and we will talk about what channels you don't like. Dana says, Mike, you've had a real interesting life. You know what? I had an interesting life. I come from very, very middle income, middle class family. All right. To be honest with you, my mom was a model, but that was before models made any money. any real money. Okay. My dad, um, was with the diplomatic corps for a number of years. My parents are first generation Americans, or let me rephrase that. My mother and father were first, they were immigrants. They immigrated to the US. All right. They were not born in the United States. They immigrated to the United States as children. As children. So yeah, Edinoi. Yeah, Tachikawa is a Tokyo word. Yeah, I mean, I can remember that there was a building down in Tokyo that had like this little Eiffel Tower type thing on top of it and an amusement park. And it wasn't a real, I want to say maybe 10 stories or something like that. But we would ride as kids. We didn't even think of bringing an adult. We would just go hop on the train, ride it, go there, and and we were there. I mean, life in the Philippines was very very uh, very fun for a kid. Very very fun. Um, Chubbs becomes a host quite frequently and welcomes friends and subscribers as they come by when he is live streaming. Yeah, but that's different than being a collaboration. Reaper, what channels we don't like? Let's start with Philly and the Philippines. Oh, Reaper, I can remember you from his last live stream. Yeah, you definitely don't. You definitely have a problem with Philly, that's for sure. David, New Zealand is a beautiful place, exactly as you see in the movies. To you, maybe the cities would be like a large town. The people are always nice and friendly. Yeah, David, I'm interested to get. I've always seen beautiful images of New Zealand. Lars Lang, yes, he does. I would bet any amount of money he is not in the background. He is not. I'm not in the background. Hook 'em. Brewmeister. Wow. Super chat. Oh my gosh. We very rarely get them, and we get this monster super chat from Brewmeister. Thank you so very much. We certainly appreciate it. You know what? It's never the amount of money, it's the thought. The thought that you appreciate what we're doing and what we've got going on. And that we try and do something constructive. Reaper, that's what they are trying to get me to say. Reaper, what? They're trying to get you. Hold on, ugly tourist. We're not trying to. I'm certainly not trying to get you to say you don't like Philly's channel. Thank you, Brew. Wow. The only Duma vlogger that I did not like passed last year. I don't keep up with them. I mean, I know every now and then I see Old Dog. Every now and then I'll see something from Baby Mail come through my feed. Goldfinger will come through my feed. Mike's Philippine Retirement will come through my feed. I don't know who else there is down there. The captain is, the captain. I think he's a blogger. Or was. That name is familiar. Philly was probably the guard the inmates hit with poo cocktails. Let's hope not. I wouldn't want that for anybody. People don't realize it, but bodily fluids, especially poo, hepatitis. Absolutely. I mean, that goes through your liver, which is where we filter for hepatitis back. No. You don't want to get and deal with that. That's for sure. That's for absolutely sure. But no, you know what, Dano? I do. I come from very modest family. My mother's social security is $472 a month. My mother's 84 years old. Okay. And so, granted, I wouldn't expect it to be that much, but, my brother and I support her. I come from a very, very modest family. I didn't have a silver spoon. I delivered newspapers. I worked in an ice cream store. I mowed yards and did everything else in college. I did lifeguarding during the day and mowed yards in the evenings to have money to get pizza and a date. I went through, I had a very modest life. Not that I worked harder than anybody. I was just fortunate in life. That's all. I was just a simple guy, and I've been very fortunate. I have a wonderful wife, and I have the world's best daughter. Okay? So, Bobby Gill, Mike Hours talking about Mark Thornton. Again, you know what? Mark Thornton did content that never interested me, so I very rarely watched him. Although I did see that whole deal between Mark. You know what? How can I say I saw? I saw the same thing you saw. I saw the videos that were posted, unless you were present. Okay? Look, I don't think he sucker punched anybody. When somebody who says they want to fight and they say, let's go outside, and you better be prepared when you stand up inside. Now, not that I think it was fair. I mean, this guy was, only 2/3. Thornton was a third of the size with probably an 8 or 10-inch reach more than this guy had. Why pick a fight? I got no idea. Arstel, me and the wife were stationed in Yokosuka at Atsuga for over 5 years. Excellent infrastructure, but impossible to get permanent visa unless you had a Japanese wife. Really? I know Timmy Dog is a college professor. But I don't know. Richie Rich, how you doing, Richie? Long time no talk. I'm nice of you to make it out. Thanks so much for dropping by. Like button smashed. You didn't miss much of anything. We're just talking about the reality is that the tourist numbers are not down for 2025. The tourist numbers are actually up. All right, albeit a 0.5%, but the 2025 tourist numbers are up. Okay. And then we were just talking about all kinds of other general stuff, to be honest with you. Book of Daniel, we work for the Department of Corrections in the States. They like to be called corrections officers to be correct. Yeah, Will says, very true. No, Ace says, very true. I just got the permanent visa only because of my wife. Wow. Lars says, I love Philly's channel. When he used to be the #1 roaming walking show, the beautiful bar girls down there, a trailblazer, others followed, not into the mountain man videos now yet. Everybody does what they want. Everybody, you watch YouTube channels for two things. You either watch them for information, of which you first have to establish how accurate the information is that person's going to present, or you watch them for entertainment, either whether it's a talking head entertainment or whether it's visual entertainment, one or the other. So, The only drama-free vlogger I think is Rod from Amazing Philippines, big channel, but no beef with anybody. Never even heard of him. I'll have to look him up. Oh, Amazing Philippines. Yes. Okay. And if you like his content, that's great. Arstel says, just want to visit my sisters, went to Tokyo just before Christmas. Man, Mark's portrait now hangs in Ground Zero. Are you serious? They banned him from Ground Zero. Eddie, are you just being sarcastic or facetious? Because they banned him from Ground Zero, with best I remember. Tourist numbers are up for the Philippines, but what about Angeles City? I think it's down. Angeles City, I don't know. And I live here and I don't know. I can tell you that the last time we were on Walking Street a couple weeks ago, it was packed, absolutely packed. I mean, we went as a group to dinner, then went as a group to a bar, and we couldn't sit as a group. So we left. Okay. And that was at like 7:30. That's early. But I've seen Walking Street dead over the past year many times that we go down there. And it's still never been pre-COVID. But I can tell you this, you want to go to Din Tai Fung at SM Clark, it's an hour's wait. You want to go on a Friday night to Texas Roadhouse, it's going to be packed. You want to go to all kinds of other places, it's packed. So, I mean, is Angeles down? I don't know. I don't know. He knows says just joking. Yeah, I was like, holy shit. I mean, but you know, Eddie, it's not uncommon for crazy shit to happen. You know that. So, I mean, it's like sometimes even the most absurd statement, you have to question, is that true? Did that, what? Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. Tim Dziak, just remember there are more things to do in the Philippines than walk. And there are. Tim's absolutely correct. And when we publish our expenses at the end of this month, all right, as I said, we're going to do, I'm going to show you, for those of you that weren't here, we have tracked every penny we spent so far in January. And we are going to show you what our life costs, what we spend. Then we're going to show you that same spreadsheet, and I'm going to highlight everything that you don't need, that is superfluous, all of the wasteful, frivolous things that we do, okay? As we've been accused of doing in the past. That, you know, our life, we have too much money, we live too rich of a life, you know, we flaunt it, shit. What am I supposed to do? Just sit here in my condo all day and night because I don't want people to see me out at dinner? Kiss my ass. No, that's not going to work. All right. So, but that's at that'll be in the first month of February. Yokosuka TDY there for 2 weeks in 1984. Only thing I remember is taking a lovely Japanese woman on a date to Tokyo Disney. Took the train to get there. She showed me a good time. There you go, Hector. Life is good. Philly in the Philippines was one of the first ones I watched. And later we moved to the Phils, got the bug, and have to say that love it here. Yeah. And I have breakfast with Dano occasionally. He shows up for breakfast at Tequila Reef, and it's nice. Richie Rich Abroad. As vloggers, we are entertained. If you can provide information to your audience, it's even better. We just enjoy doing what we do and hope that the audience. Ugly tourist, you're correct. Okay, so wait a minute, Richie. Now you got Philly, you got Richie Rich, and you got me. Now, James has said that there are vloggers that he does not like their content. He disagrees with their content and the way they present themselves on, you know what? Strike everything that I just said. Strike it all. Because I can't remember his exact words, I won't go into it. So I would ask you this, Rich. Are there vloggers that produce content that you disagree with and that you don't respect them for that content? Reaper, I wonder how much of walking street tourism being down is just due to everything going online. Tourists meeting ladies and nights. And Reaper, you're absolutely correct. I don't even think it's Tinder and Pina Love. I really don't. All the single expats I know, one's Australian, one's American. I mean, I know a lot more, but these are the ones we talk to on a routine basis. All right. Um, um, they just use Facebook. Facebook. Yeah, Richie Rich Abroad is a fun channel to watch. Great chemistry. Yeah, if you have not watched Richie Rich Abroad and Chang, his partner, they are very informative. They're very clever. They're very respectful. And at the same time, they present a lot of information. A lot of information. So I certainly, certainly would encourage anybody to go take a look at their channel. I really and truly would. I'm still waiting for the day that either I end up going down, or Lynn and I end up going down to Manila, or Richie and Cheng end up coming up here. But I'd love to run into the two of them and have dinner with them. I think that would be great. Arstel, it was busy last night on Walking Street. I played pool at Angel Witch with my father and friends, had a late dinner afterwards in Kokomo's, and it was pretty full out front. Yeah, I got to tell you, the other night, the last time we were down there, not the other night, this is like 2 weeks ago, right? The entire front rail at Kokomo's was packed, and all the seating behind it was full at 8 o'clock. So, but I just don't know. I really don't. Japan does get cold for 2 months, no way around. I wish there was a way we could track the tourism, okay, in Angeles City by city. But to the best of my knowledge, the Philippines doesn't publish those kind of information. Richard Rich Cali, thanks, man. Much appreciated. Oh, yeah. Great channel. You can spend a vacation without leaving Clark. There's a lot to do on Clark. There's a lot to do all over Angeles City, okay, and the surrounding area. I mean, we're heading down to San Fernando to see a Cirque du Soleil show at in San Fernando. I mean, there's just a lot. Callie, I agree, brother. I watch them all the time. Ugly Tourist says, I said I dislike Ricky. Okay. Yes. And I'm not going to, you know what? I think we've touched on a little bit of a nerve with James, and I apologize. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Much more than walking street, like bars on perimeter, massage girls on theater. Look, yeah, they're all over the place. Okay. Yes, definitely. Ugly Tourist, you're trying to bait me. If I wanted to bait you, James, I would come out a lot harder and a lot different. I asked you an honest question regarding an honest comment that you made. If I was trying, don't bait me, because I'll take it and I'll come at it. All right? If I was trying to bait you, it would not be that simple or pleasant. Travel, am I right? No comment. There are a lot of channels that don't provide any informative content at all and only show themselves shaking their ass or sleeping. Great if you're a simp hoping for a short title. Yeah, exactly. You know, you're either information or entertainment. And if you're really good, you're both. Okay? Ugly tourist travel, I thought so. I guess. I've pissed off the ugly tourist. Wow. If they had shows in the bars like they did in Korea when I was stationed there, Walking Street would be packed. They have shows, but I don't think they're to the quality. Thanks for the compliment, Richie says, Mike. We will come up to Angeles and visit you guys. Name the time. Oh, anytime. You know what? Catch up with me after the 1st of February. I'll have a better idea of what we've got going on. Lars, have you ever met Heidi in person? I've been recently watching their channel. She's always saying she needs to be going to the hospital. Tonight it's possibly mild pneumonia. Before it's lupus. Yeah, Lars, I met her. There was a meet and greet here at Candy Palace. Not long after COVID opened up. And she and George came and I met them there. Because I absolutely, we live in Candy Palace. So, Ugly the beta said, so call in for a face-off live. Yeah. No, I'm not, you know what? If I offended the ugly tourist, I'm sorry. What more do you want me to say? All right. I just asked him, who else do you disagree with? All right. And why? So I second that. But if he wants to cam up, there you go. Let's see here. Let me catch up. I still, I really want to come out and check out Clark. Yeah, it's great. There's all kinds of stuff up there. It's just not full. All right. I think the drop in tourism is also about age demographics. A lot of younger people looking for similar nightlife go to places like Colombia, Dominican Republic, Brazil, Mexico. Not as many older folks. It's quite possible. I mean, Colombia, Dominican Republic, Brazil, Mexico, they're all shorter, cheaper flights too. Ugly, he's calling you out. I'm not calling Ugly out. I'm not. I'm just saying, hey, if you don't like it, you don't have to be here and watch it. All right? I mean, if I offended you somehow, I apologize. I have only said good things about you. I've only done anything but promote your channel, talked about your beautiful wife, your beautiful child, the content that you do, and yet this is what comes? Really? I got nothing to hide. Nobody's got anything to hide. Philly and the Ugly Tourist Philippines, can you promote my new channel called the Philly 215 on your next video? There you go. The Ugly Tourist, you should believe our Philippine journey. He's a master at baiting. Oh my God, I am not. Can you return the favor? Yeah, there you go. Masturbator. There you go. Why is he calling me out is the question. I'm not calling you out. You made a comment. I asked you to expand on it. I'm trying to get my live going, all right, to keep it going. I mean, at the time there weren't 20, 30 people in the room, all right? I'm doing everything I can. If you do enough lives, and you have to do and keep conversation going. I enabled that conversation. If you don't like it, you can leave. It's pretty simple, James. Ugly needs to cam up or shut up. Look, I've got nothing against James or Ugly at all. Nothing. at all. All right. I'm just saying, if he's going to accuse me of baiting him, then okay, we'll go. I'll shut up. I suspect he's prettier than you. Oh, James is a much better looking guy than I am. I'm old, fat, and bald. Mike, I meant shows in Korea where, oh no, uh, um, no, yeah, maybe, but not here. And I wouldn't be interested in that. Book him to Philly. I will do it on a podcast. There you go. Yeah, that's the other thing. Book him, Dano. He's doing his own cigar talk. All right, where he talks about stuff. Hey, Dano, what's the name of your channel? I haven't gotten there yet. Where I am, I don't even know how to look for it. So I don't even have it. I got the wrong phone. But what's the name of your channel, Dano? Where he's doing cigar talk. The Ugly Truth. The Philippines is an awesome place. I enjoy it. That's about all I have to say. Okay, good. Everyone has something to hide. I know I do. Mike, weren't you talking before about having a segment of U.S. events into the channel? I was, and I probably still will. But here's the deal. I have gotten another business interest that has nothing to do with the Philippines, has nothing to do with YouTube, nothing to do with anything like that, that is now currently I'm involved in as a consultant, and it is taking a ton of my time. And with that being said, all right, I just don't have the time to do it, but I will. But I am being a little hesitant because when I did our first one, YouTube struck it and said it was political and I needed to register in their political system or something like that. I don't know. So we'll give it another try. But I thought it was weird. The Ugly Truth. I made a comment that I don't like Ricky. Right. And so I followed up with, well, who, no, you made the comment that something about don't I disagree? How can I be supportive of somebody with that kind of content? Something like that. I don't know. Somebody would have to go way back. I don't know. Is there a way I can actually search these chats? I think there is. Search the ugly. Wait a minute. Okay. It won't go back far enough. I can't go back. My search won't allow me to go back to that comment far enough. So, okay. Oh, here it is. I met him too. He was a good guy, but does that excuse his behavior online? All right. And I can't remember. And so I said, oh, well, you know what? It's, there's acting and then there's this and there's that. And then I asked you, okay, who else do you said you don't like them? And I said, well, who else do you not like? So what's for breakfast? Whatever you want, James. You know what, James? Just to show you that I apologize. Breakfast is on me tomorrow morning. Meet me at Tequila Reef. All right, I'll buy you breakfast. That's pretty simple. The Ugly Tourist, besides Sick Grandpa, are there other YouTube channels you don't like? Yes or no question. Can you put up a link to Bookham Dano's 20 at Bookham Dano 2427? I'll take a look. Illinois, any comments on the ICU nurse shot in Minneapolis, Mike, or no comment? All right, first off, it's Mike, not Myk. That's a totally different guy. All right, just to make sure, probably just a simple typo on your end. I want to find out. Well, first off, I think it's horrible. All right, I really and truly do. But I can't. I don't think there's enough information out there yet about it. It's a tragedy. Yeah, I think it's horrible. So Reaper, drama sells and gets clicks. That's why Mike's Filipinos grew so fast. Yeah, it was. I'm so saddened by the death of Alex Preddy, the ICU nurse. He was a good man. I don't know if he was a good man. Never met him. Don't know anything about him other than he died. And that's a horrible thing. Do I know the circumstances behind his death? No, I don't. But I do know this. When you have literally, over the course of the entire United States, tens of thousands of protesters, well, let's just say thousands and thousands of protesters, over many multiple events, all right, buffing up and everything, accidents will happen. And I'm not saying it was an accident. What I am saying is shit's gonna happen. You really think shit's not gonna happen? Well, you think that's not the way it is? That's also why Philly is ankle biting RG to stay relevant since the channel fell off 2 years ago. Bookham Dano and at Sunset Travel. Bookham Dano and Pine. The Illinois 321, he should have not put himself in that situation. If you look for trouble, you're going to find it. And I don't think he was looking for trouble, all right? But that's a methodology. But when you get tens of thousands of people protesting law enforcement, all right? And these people are a part of law enforcement. They're enforcing the immigration law, all right? Whether you like that law or not, it's not up to you to question them or to beat them up. You need to take that up with the people who created the law. Right, they're following what they have to do, and that might not be correct. I'm not saying it is or isn't, but what I'm saying is, okay, very simply, when you have that much confrontation, that much almost always physical confrontation, somebody's going to get hit and hurt at some point. And to expect that somebody isn't going to get shot, all right, I mean, you know how many guns there are out there, not counting the ones that are in the law enforcement's hands. So, it's terrible. Callie is team Mad Math. Both have a common dislike of Ricky. Okay, that's fine. Reaper, you busted me. I love all other channels. Oh my God, come on, James. But you know what? That's a good response. Philly, I understand the hustle, but understanding something doesn't mean I have to like it. No, it doesn't. And that's the prerogative of everybody as to whether they're going to or not like it. Life is cheap in the USA now. Life is a lot cheaper in Uganda, Somalia, Nigeria, Venezuela. All right. Life is cheap and it's way cheaper everywhere in Illinois. You know that. Okay. We, you know, as much as I hate what happened, as much as I abhor physical violence, as much as I disagree with all of that, okay? Um, Life is cheaper in a vast number of other countries. Okay, Mexico, life is cheap. Simple fact is, the ICU nurse reached back to his holster after they knew he was carrying. They didn't know agent behind took the gun first. Footage from behind. Again, Sunset, I have not had time to follow up completely on it. I don't like it. Callie, I'm not team anyone. Sometimes that is my problem. You know, no, that's not true. I would never carry, I would never conceal carry, go to a protest and physically intervene with law enforcement. Never would I do that. I like living. It would be that would be an unwise choice. I mean, it's just, that's not a wise thing to do. Reaper, agree. Nothing I would do either. LG, haven't seen you in a while in a while. How are you doing? Hi, Philly. Why the focus on regular guy? You have been at the YouTube gig for what, 10 years? First time you went after anyone, maybe time to return to Angeles. Too boring for you in the province. I do not know, but we'll let Philly answer that question. That's for sure. LG, already explained above, because drama gets clicks and clicks equals money. Well, I don't know. I got my first thumbs down. Man, we went 2 hours and 36 minutes before we got a thumbs down. That's impressive. I'm quite happy with that. Our feeling, what was not true about that? I'm not sure what you're talking about, James. What was not true? Um, about you not being on team anyone? Is that, I didn't say that wasn't true. Wait. I'm on that. That's my problem. I don't. What I meant by that was not being on team doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. Um, isn't negative. Just because you're not on some team doesn't mean it's a problem. That's what I meant. Okay. I had to go back and look at the context. Sorry about that. Life's not cheap if you obey the laws. Only those who break them say so. Yep. No tasers in the States? Yeah, they got tasers. All right. Plenty of tasers. LG, if no one exposed Epstein, then he would still be doing his thing. Pretty broke no laws. And again, that may very well be true. Okay. If he was impeding an ICE action, that's a law. As much as I agree with our immigration problem, law enforcement must be carried out appropriately, and no cop will say the tactics being seen are anything but suspect. I do believe the only video I've seen, this guy's on the ground. There are 4 or 5 guys on top of him, or yeah, one guy's pounding him, and then there's a shot. That is as far as I have gotten to understand of it. And I don't know any more about it, to be honest with you. Mike, just stating that when there is civil unrest, both ends are, oh, you're 100% correct, Bobby. If you want to protest, then protest, but don't put yourself in a situation that may or may not end up. I totally agree. I totally agree. Why did a judge order the government to preserve evidence in this incident? Isn't this expected of the government? Yes, it is expected of the government. I don't think a judge needed to order it. Any shooting, you preserve all the evidence. I think it's just, you know what? He's trying to make his, he's just grandstanding. All right. If you're not on a team, then you're just a cheerleader on the sideline. Okay. Well, I'm kind of like Switzerland. I'm as neutral as it gets to a certain extent. Ugly have all the thumbs down. Nah. And you know what? The thumbs down are just as good as thumbs up when it comes to the algorithm. There were many shots, maybe 12. No. Was there really? All right. I'll have to, I guess, look it up. 10, Jim. Why bring a gun to a protest? Not smart. And LG's right. LG's 100% correct. If you're going to go protest the police or law enforcement who are legally armed, legally entitled to protect themselves in the threat, even the threat of violence, okay? And you take a gun to go confront them, that's pretty bad. Ugly Tourist, Philly and Philippines. I don't know why you have a problem with our channel. You're the man, Philly. I never have questioned your throne or tried to. I wonder, Brian, do you have a problem with the Ugly Tourist channel? Not that but I don't know. I was unaware of that. I still believe there was an accidental discharge by the officer who removed the gun, which caused reactionary firing. I guess it's possible. If Peretti came to a peaceful protest, there was no need for a firearm. Fully loaded, 2 full clips. He should have brought a sign like the other did. Now, there's there is a bit of strong suggestion there. Why would you carry concealed with 2 full clips? All right. I carry concealed in the United States. All right. I never carry 2 clips. 1 is enough. 1 is enough. Hector, let's wait for the results. Wonder when the investigation on the first incident will take place. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Too true, brew. Yeah. I also agree that going there with a gun is unwise. Yeah, it was. Reaper, there's a video of what happened before he was on the ground. There was a woman that got into Leo's face. He pushed her. Then Alex Peretti went to push the Leo back and got between the two. This could be. I have not seen it. Putting your hands on law enforcement, especially when you're carrying concealed, is a dumb idea. It is a threat. Bobby Gill, I think Ugly is drunk. He's causing a bunch of shit, giving this live stream a thumbs down. I don't know. Wait. We don't know that Ugly gave it a thumbs down. That's a terrible thing to assume, Bobby. All right. For all we know, you gave it a thumbs down, and you're blaming it on Ugly. No. You know what? I know James. He's a nice guy. He has a wonderful, sweet wife and a young child. If I've upset him, it wasn't on purpose. I was just looking for extending a conversation, but whatever. There was an accidental discharge. DHS will conduct a fair and impartial investigation. I would hope so. I would hope there'd be a considerable investigation, including all of his social media. I would be at his home. I would have a warrant for all of his computers, all of his electronic devices. I would want to know what he's been Googling. I would want to know everything. Okay? It's only fair. Fair and impartial. Indeed. Okay. This is 2 hours and 43 minutes, the longest live stream I've ever done. Solve dipshit congressman told protesters that Minnesota was a stand your ground state and they should practice their right to carry. I don't know what the um, I don't know what the Minnesota laws are. Stand your ground, not all right. Um, I don't know what they are, so I can't say that. Um, and I don't know what their right to carry laws are either. You know, I know what the national standard is. I mean, the concealed carry permit that I have is valid in like 27, used to be 27 states. I don't know about nowadays. All right. Uh, but as long as it was valid for North Carolina, California, Texas, Arizona, and Florida, that was all I was concerned about. And it was valid for all of those. Okay. Plus more. Um, James says, so I guess there's a problem. Um, I don't know. They're having a conversation that I've missed pieces of, I guess. Please don't end this live until James answers my questions. Okay. I can stick around for a while. When did I ever say anything bad about your channel, James? James says, Philly, have I said anything derogatory? And there, you said that why Philly has a problem with your channel. I don't know. Lived in Nevada, very common to catch kids with guns in the classroom. It's an epidemic. That scares me. I always, living in Arizona, even though my daughter was in private school, that always worried me. And I'll tell you why. Because it was a bunch of obnoxious, stuck up, rich, entitled parents at that school. All right. And many of them owned guns and I worried about one of their kids grabbing a gun. Callie says, ugly, don't take the bait. Philly says, you made a statement that I have a problem with your channel. I hope the government doesn't slow walk the investigations into two shootings like they're doing with the Epstein files. Who knows what they're going to do? I mean, let's be honest. Who knows what they're going to do? Nothing surprises me anymore. I love America. I didn't leave America because I couldn't cut it there. Arlen and I could have easily retired there. We were retired there. Right? I shouldn't even um, um, uh, uh, say anything other than that. Whoa! Don't be blaming me. I apologize for hurting your feelings if I did, and now you're accused. No, come on by tomorrow. Let's get a Spanish omelet. Okay. But anyways, what was I saying? I love America. I was retired in America. Okay. It's not like I couldn't retire there. I was retired. Then we moved to the Philippines. With that being said, sometimes, yeah, I worry about things that are going on in the United States. Let's see here. Same. So I guess there's a problem. Please don't end this line. Sorry, I've lost where I was. What did I? Have I said anything derogatory? And I haven't heard. Here we go. Philly says, I will wait. There we go. I hope the government doesn't slow walk. Man, I thought I was there, but you two need to quit. James, do you like my channel? Yes or no? Ugly, make sure you order your eggs sunny side up. You need a beer. 2 cups of coffee. Ugly has changed his name to Undecided in the PI. Oh, don't pick on Ugly. No guns in Japan, but the bears are not friendly. You know, where was it? Some woman in China got to about 10 feet from a snow leopard to take its picture. She found out the hard way you don't do that shit. Is this a Dumageddon blog? No, it's not, Traveling Texan. I'm sorry. I am sorry. UT is working on his latest channel revamp, Ugly Mean Tourist. Jack King. Oh, how's things going down there in the province, Jack? This is fun. Man, there are some big egos in here. You know something, LG? I think there's a lot of big egos everywhere. Minneapolis is a boiling. I think there's a couple of them, Bob. I mean, don't you? Don't you think there's a couple of them? All right, the link is up. If people want to cam up, come up. In fact, I wish somebody would cam up. Brian, can you cam up so I can have an image on the screen while I run to the head? Man, 3 hours, and I drank on a whole liter. The Ugly Tourist Philippines. I noticed you were on Surigao Island. Why didn't you stop by and say hi to me? Oh, there you go. That's a good question, I guess. So let me reverse that, Brian. When you come to Angeles, Brian, and for Hannah's graduation, would you meet with Ugly Tourist and I for breakfast? Not even at Tequila Weave. Not even at Tequila. I mean, we can do it, at ZRV. All right. We can go somewhere where you like it better. Ugly saying, Surigao, where is that? Let's see. There's the link. Boom. Oh, but it's right above, Brian. There you go. Do 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 do. But yeah, I need like about a 3 or 4 minute break. I need to run to the head, take a leak. I need to fill my water up. I need to. Who is Bob? Okay. Guest one. 2 up. Hey, Bob.
I'll pop in there, Mike, and let you go to the bathroom if you want. That way they can talk about my background again.
Hang on a second. And I got Brian there. Now I'm gonna run to the head real quick. I'll be back. I'll be back in 3 or 4 minutes.
How you doing, Brian?
Good. Am I here? Oh, there we are.
Yeah,
All right.
you're in there.
I had to switch screens off of YouTube to Mike's channels. We'd get an echo. Echo.
Let's see here. Where is
Bob.
How you doing, Brian?
I am doing good. Raining here, you know. the ugly tourist, you know that. I mean, it rained what? Every day you were here, but maybe one day. And here's the funny part. All right. God's honest truth. I was sitting at the Cat and Gun, which is down the road from Cloud9. You go down, the road loops to your left and goes down. And I was sitting there having breakfast, right? God's honest truth, look, will tell you. On my daughter's grave, I looked out and I seen a dude walking by, and I said to myself, and I even said to Lut, that kind of looks like the ugly tourist. But I'm like, why would he be down here? Like, wouldn't he say, I'm going to go on vacation. I'm going to go down here to Shergold Island and check it out and everything like that. And then I think a day or two later, he came out with the video. And he was down. I knew right where he was at, where he started to walk down by the church, heading down Tourism Road, down that way. He even did a picture, I think, in his post, showing him standing at Cloud9 and looking like it's Cloud9. Like, why? I don't think he superimposed himself. Down, James, if you go down past Cloud9 and you kept walking, all right, the road goes down and then it goes to the left, like you're going out towards the Sunset Bridge. Cat and Gun sits down there on the left. You were across the street walking. I'm like, unless it was your twin brother, all right, I could have swore it was you. I could have swore it was you.
You got a doppelganger out there?
Uh, yeah. Well, let's put it this way. All right. We got to give it to James. All right. A lot of bait thrown at James today on this live stream. He didn't grab it. He might have nibbled a few times, but he didn't grab it. I do have a twin. Maybe you do. I could have swore it was your twin. And what caught me is like when I looked, I could have swore I seen the camera mounted on his chest or something. It was somewhere. And damn it, I should have jumped up, ran at him like some crazed fan. Ugly tourist, is that you? Is that you? I should have, but I didn't. Because my mind was like, nah, that wasn't him. It was like I was seeing like a mirage. You know what I mean? A mirage. Yeah. 47 in the room. Yeah, that's where I thought I seen you. Because you had done a picture by the entranceway of Cloud9. It was on your post. For one of your pictures you put up. And I knew right where that was. Now my
So he didn't.
stick. All right.
He didn't even come. He didn't even come down to say hi to you, huh?
No, he didn't even. He know I live down here. How many other YouTubers live down here? Unless he was like 8 miles from
You,
home, or maybe he
you
wanted to
and
get
Barbie.
some ice cream from Barbie's. I don't know.
Yeah. You and Barbie, and she ain't there anymore. So
Your mic is not very loud. Let me make sure I'm on. Oh, hang on. Make sure I'm on the right mic here. All right.
Let me see. Test. That's working.
Doesn't let me.
That's Bob. Yes, that's
Default
Bob.
mic. Default mic. All right, that's my default mic. I apologize if the sound is not very loud.
Um,
Well, I don't know. I know
there.
James said he's going to put out a few more videos of Shergold Island. I'd like to know what his thought is on Shergold Island. Now, in order to really understand Shergold Island, you have to get out away from the General Luna area, away from that tourist stretch or tourism road. I always said you have to explore and get out around Shergold Island. Now, it is kind of tough with the rain. It is a pain in the ass when it rains, but
I think she froze.
I think he froze too.
Yep.
He's using that cheap ass Starlink.
Yeah, but like he's saying, you definitely got to get away from the cities if you're over there. A lot beautiful, more things to see out away in the country.
Um,
So when I was stationed over there, I got any chance I got, I jumped and ran. I left Angeles, 100 Islands, uh, Ormoc City, Palawan. Before Palawan even was built up.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me put that there. Oh, it's Jim. How you doing, Jim?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good, good.
I
Now
haven't
you know
joined.
what?
I'm
You
here.
know what, Ugly? You got to watch yourself because I saw your first I think it was the first video you put out about Surigao, and you can plainly see you holding your stick or I think yeah, you can plainly see you in the reflection of the glass of one of those little storefronts. So
Is he doing sign language?
no, yeah, Richie Rich, of course you can get in. Of course. Sunset, Richie Rich abroad. Your program kicked me off. Well, then rejoin. It's that cheap ass Starlink you got, Philly. AI only. I don't know. I don't know. Brian, for some reason you froze. No, he got kicked out. Brian got kicked out. So as soon as if he calls back in, if he has a chance, I mean, we're at 3 hours already. So I don't know. I'm not going to run a marathon like James did. My God. Oh my God. I don't know how many hours were you on, James? You did a marathon run. I don't know if I could ever do anything like that. For those of you that don't know, James had an objective, a goal that he wanted to meet with on subscribers, and hang on a second. Whoops. Assign Richard Rich. There we go. Hey, Rich.
No sound.
No sound. He's working on it. But anyways, James
Hey,
had a marathon live stream to reach his goal. I don't know how many, 12 hours. He was on for 12 hours.
12 hours on a live stream.
Yeah.
That's a long.
I couldn't do it. I think the longest I've done is like 3.5 hours. I felt like a zombie after.
This is 3 hours, and I'm like, oh my God, somebody needs to bring me some popcorn, beef jerky, something.
How about that Spanish omelet?
There you go.
Yeah.
he begging for somebody to jump in so he can go to the CR.
No doubt. What do you talk about for 12 hours? Is there that much to talk about for 12 damn hours?
I guess you could let your chat run it. Whichever direction they go, you go with them. But
I don't know.
other than that,
Yeah. So James, what did you guys talk about for 12? Did you ever have like dead spaces, like periods of time where nobody was saying anything? I mean, I just wonder. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I was in bed for a big chunk of yours. but I did go to it. I did go and sit in it for a while.
Wow, that's crazy.
So
That's
Richie,
that's.
how
I
you
think it's
been?
doing pretty good. I was just going to say, I think it's awesome if anybody has enough content here in the Philippines that they can be on for 12 hours. More power to them. Hats off to them, right? I mean, seriously. And no sarcasm intended at all. But doing
Yeah,
pretty good overall, Mike. Yeah.
that's good. That's good. How's Chang doing?
Ching's doing awesome. We just celebrated her 40th birthday and had a really
40.
good time. She's 40. She's 40.
No
Yeah. So
way. No way. All
yeah,
right, quit lying. You just
I
don't
don't
want
do the young one.
everybody to know you chased a young girl. You know she's only like 25.
I don't do the young one, Mike. I don't do the young one. She's 40 for sure. I checked her ID.
I checked for ID. Isn't
I
that,
don't want any problems in the Philippines.
wouldn't that, I mean, isn't that a horrible way to have a thought over your life that when you go out, I need to check for ID.
Right.
You know,
Pretty sad.
that's got to be rough.
But that's where we are right now, right? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I don't film a lot outside. I kind of stay in studio to film. But that's where I don't want any smoke. I don't want any problems at all. So right now I think it's better that that we stay away from public stuff, stay and just keep your nose clean and wait for the smoke to blow over.
Let the fire go out.
Yeah, I
for
mean, you're absolutely correct. I mean, there's a limit to the risk you want to expose yourself to. Number one.
Right.
Number two, how comfortable are you shoving your camera in everybody's life? When it comes to like walking down the street and stuff. I mean, you could go like to the city ground, all right?
Yeah.
And you go to Firefly for dinner, then you go downstairs and say, you know what? Let's walk back to Rockwell, where we're staying, or maybe you're staying.
Great content.
And yeah, it would be great content, but holding a camera at night, walking in that neighborhood, ain't the best idea.
You're asking
No.
for problems. I mean, we thought
Need to
about
be-
many different times going to to Poblacion or Bodra Suite, or I don't know how to pronounce it, but it would be great content. You would get tons of subs and tons of views, but look at the blowback you would probably get off of it too.
And you need to watch your surroundings.
Absolutely, the surroundings are not so good in that area. You have all kinds of riffraff. I mean, no offense intended to anyone, but some
Right.
less than desirable people, we'll just say, walking around
Undesirables.
that area.
Yeah.
So definitely.
Yeah. Philly,
I'm curious. I haven't met these other two gentlemen before. Would you guys mind introducing yourselves to me? Just no offense at all, but we haven't met before.
I'm Jim.
I'm
I'm Jim.
What's your channel?
Pardon me?
And what's your channel?
Oh, I don't have a channel. I just always watch Mike's channel, so I just decided to come on.
Oh, just as cool. Just as cool.
That's the same. I don't have a channel. I watch everybody, and it's like I keep myself out of trouble. I figure I get myself. Like I said, I was over there in the '80s, and all the stuff that, like I said, we did in the '80s in the military. We'd be in jail for now, and it's like back over. And it's like I ain't bringing no camera out.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Vlogging's fun, but it's a lot more work than people think. And
It's a headache. Yeah.
If you're trying, I think that if you're trying to actually make money, I think there are a couple aspects. I think first off, there's an ego aspect. You want to know, is this something I can do? And can I be, successful at it? That's the first thing. Okay. So you have that personal gain thing. But once you get past that, you next run into the same part. Well, can I get it to pay for itself? At least pay for itself. And when you start to do that, it's work. it's work. I mean, how many hours do you put in a week just trying to come up with titles for your videos? All right. And then
Well,
content.
yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I can say overall, I probably spend. I mean, I work at my own job. I work about 35 to 40 hours a week at my own job. But on my YouTube channel, I put in easily another 20 to 25 hours a week, easily,
Whoa.
without a doubt. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
all
it's
the editing and everything. Yeah, I mean,
yeah. And think about how it was before there was AI. By the way, before
Yeah.
there was AI does a lot of the work for you nowadays. But before there was AI, I would say you add another 10 to that. You add another 10 hours.
Yeah. Oh, it is a time waster. There. I mean, look, I'm 3 hours and 9 minutes into wasting my time, although it's not a waste. I'm just saying, I'm 3 hours and 9 minutes into my Wednesday. Okay. And I actually have 2 projects I need to get some work done on today, and we have some construction. We have a delivery this afternoon, and I'm like,
maybe
shit. You know,
it's the Philippines,
am,
Mike. You can only do one
how,
project a
how am
day.
I going to get any of this stuff done on time?
Right. It's always a challenge in the Philippines, right?
Yep.
Always a
Philippines
challenge.
time.
One
Yeah.
project a day.
Yep.
Hey, Mike,
AI.
I just wanted to come on. I wanted to come on and say hi to you because I haven't talked to you in a while or seen you in a while. I'm glad you're doing good. You're looking good.
Yep.
And let's get together. We keep talking about getting together. Let's make it happen one of these times. And I'll come out to you. I don't care. We'll come out to you and see you guys.
Anytime. I mean, to the best of my knowledge, we are in Angeles for the next at least 60 days. We're not going anywhere other than maybe San Fernando. There's a Cirque du Soleil show in San Fernando at the big mall in San Fernando. We're going to be going to, but those are the only real plans out of town that we have.
Right. I'm going back to the States in the middle of February, and I'll be there for a few weeks. So I'll be back in March. But when I get back, let's schedule a time to get together. And definitely, you guys sit tight. We'll come out to you guys.
Okay. All right.
All right.
So
Awesome.
so James says blogging is fun and hard work, and I want to get better. But then he said AI let him go to Sergao. James, that was not AI. Okay. We saw you in the reflection of the storefront. All right.
That mirror gave him away.
It's not like you pasted it all together. AI kicked Philly out of the live stream.
AI is a son of a gun. Hey, you guys, take it easy. I'll let you guys go. I got to go back to work. You guys
Okay.
take
Good to
care.
meet you. Nice to meet you, Richie.
Take care, Richie.
You
And everybody, take a look at Richie's channel. He and his partner Ching do a great job. Okay. AI kicked. How often do I do live streams? I try and do my live streams Sunday, Philippines time, Sunday, following Philly in the Philippines at 10 p.m., 10 a.m., and Wednesdays at 10 a.m. All right. So that's when I do them currently, but anything is subject to change over time. I mean, sometimes our life here, we get obligations, and so things happen. It's kind of like I go to Tequila Reef for breakfast on Tuesdays and Thursdays, except when it's raining, except when I have a doctor's appointment, except when I'm lazy. So, it kind of works that way. Philly Ugly
That's the
Hack.
best thing of living in the Philippines is that you can make that kind of time for yourself.
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't have to worry so much about scheduling and stuff. You just, okay, I'm lazy. I'm not going.
Yep. Oh, that's funny. Callie says, Philly Ugly hacked your feed and dumped you. I don't think so. I don't think he went quite that far. AI is incredible these days. It is. Check out Richie
Well, that's
Rich
how
Abroad. Absolutely. Um,
you look.
Rick, if
You
you
look
have
how
a
long.
link, Rick, if you have a link to Richie, you can try and post it as a moderator. You might be able to post it in the channel. Following Philly, it's like NBC back in the States. Yeah, it's impossible. All right. I just
You're talking about
wasted.
AI. Look how long the P's got away with it with her in the States. You know,
Yeah. You think she's still in the States?
she's still in the States. She
Is she?
had a video she just come out with, said she's coming back in February.
Oh, okay. I had no idea. I had no
I
idea.
was wondering about when her passport was going to, or your visa, or whatever she came over on.
Well, she probably has a 10-year tourist visa.
She probably
So
does.
so she can come and go for, I don't know how that works, but I think she can come and go for like 90 days or 6 months, something like that at a time for that, and that visa is good for 10 years. Or
I
I
figured
don't
she,
know. I don't
I
know how
figured she'd get married
I don't know
soon.
how
She'd
it
been
works.
there long enough.
Oh, okay. I told you I had a delivery and they
It's
are
here.
here. So I've got to run, folks. I didn't expect them this early. Thank you so much, everybody. We really appreciate it. Take care and have a great day.
Good to see you.
Have a good day, Mike.